Hi everyone, it's Diane Evans with stampinwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia. So if you join me through YouTube or through my Facebook, welcome. I'm so glad that you have found me. And if you've never subscribed or liked my Facebook page, make sure that you do that. You get notified immediately as soon as I do go live. So today is my mystery stamping. I've changed this up. I don't do mystery stamping anymore by giving different measurements and things like that. What I do is I give you 3 clues. And this is a wide variety of different things that you can use that's in your stash. And then I will show you some other things, maybe something that you have not seen before in the catalog, because that's quite easy to do, that's for sure. But lots of things are going to be happening within the next day or two. Remember, and I'm just going to come on down to my tabletop. Don't forget, it's celebration. You have up until 11 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. So it works out to 11:59 Mountain Time. Now, if there's something in that celebration book that you want, make sure that you go down to the host code that's right down here. Use that if you do live in Canada, and then that way you'll get use of the hostess code, plus also the tutorials that I do give away. Another thing that ends tonight is the best deal in the whole catalog, and that's the join my community, join my team. Basically, you get a starter kit for $135, plus you also get this Making Plans collection. If you're not an organized person with a planner, a daily planner, you may know somebody that is. It is amazing, and there is actually also I've done a video on it, and it really is kind of cool. All right, so mystery stamping today. All right, so the clues were a big die. So I'm going to show you some dies that you could use for this. This kind of gives you an idea. Of course, these are all Stampin' Up dies, but let me just go ahead and show you which ones are available. There's the split card textures. These ones, I believe, have just come back into stock. If not, it's going to be shortly. You have the layering diorama dies that you could use. These fancy frames, I actually have a card. No, I don't have a card that's with this. I did do a card in the past with this, so that's kind of cool. The dots and spots, if you like this, you can also get this for free for celebration, and it's for, in Canada, $120 order. This one I've done, I showed with an elephant, and I made it into a shaker card. You could also use the basic borders. Like, I'm being pretty lenient on this sort of stuff. And how about the deckled rectangles? They'll work really well. And then, although, well, they are dies, or the Stitch with Whimsy dies, and a lot more that I haven't even shown you that you could use. So what I'm using today is this Artisan Editions. So pretty. I'm going to show you at the end of this, I'm going to show you a swap card that I got from this with this particular die, but we're going to use this one. And I've actually used this one before. I used it with Textured Chic stamp set, and it really did work quite well. So we're going to use this one, and we're also going to use, now I said a punch. I'm going to use this decorative punch, and this, there's quite the shine on there, but you'll see it once I punch it out. This is the punch that I'm going to use, and the designer series paper that I'm using is, and I'm going to show you the suite that I'm using. I am using the Storybook Gnomes. I'm going to be using this designer series paper. This is from the suite that's on page 42 and 43 of the J to D mini catalog. And I'm going to use some of these other things as well on here. I'm using possibly these. I don't know if they're going to go or not. I will use the stamp, or I was going to use the stamp, but I need a thank you card. So these gnomes are not just for Christmas. You can use them for anything. I have seen some amazing Halloween ones as well. So just to give you an idea what you could do with it. All right, so let's get started on this this mystery challenge. So I have my stuff cut out. Now, I went pretty lenient when it came with the designer series paper. I actually had gone and cut out a bunch of the gnomes and the toadstools and a bunch of the other things. And what I've done is I have actually used one of these gnomes that are on there. So that's my designer series paper. So it just shows you, you just have to use just a tiny bit of designer series paper for the mystery challenge. And that's what I like about this new mystery challenges that I do now. I like the fact that you can use anything that you've got, and it's quite a wide sort of variety. Now on here, this is Native Navy, and this happens to be 3 3/4 by 5. I've got some thick basic white, and it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to fold it into the mountain. I'm sure people get sick and tired of this. I've been now telling people for the last 13 years to always fold into the mountain. Why? Because what happens is it breaks down the paper fibers and then gives you that even edge right along the side. All right, so we're going to use this particular one, and I'm going to put it like this, and I'm going to come in with my my Post-it note tape, and I'm going to just put this down, and I am going to bring in my big cut and emboss. I know it does a lot of rattling and rolling, and it shakes around and that sort of stuff. But I want you to see how I actually have laid this particular piece out. Now, remember, I said a bigger die to use it as a background. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to run this through twice. It does have some intricate parts on it. Now just run it back through. And maybe I might even do it one more time. Just that I noticed there was a couple of pieces. And I think what I really needed to do was to maybe straighten out the bottom one. Now I'm just going to come in with my pick brush. And like I say, there's some there. And I think it's because I have some dies in there that, yeah, that's probably the reason. They're quite, like they've really been cut into there. So that's probably the reason why those aren't poking out as well as they should. So just sort of cut that out. And then, if that isn't enough, what I want to do is I also want to bring it back through. And let's go ahead and I'm just going to scrape this off. And now what I want to do is I want to come in on this side and put it in at the same side. So you can see that I'm actually using this as a die for the whole background. So I'm going to run that through. We'll do it 3 times. Now, when you run into that where it's also not cutting, is check your die to make sure that you've taken everything out of it. But the other part to it is make sure that your plates are not warped. I always say that when it doesn't cut, that's usually the reason. And this one's not too bad. This base one's not too bad. So just move this out of the way. That's all I need that for. I'm bad. I just sit there and just tap this out. So don't forget, with your challenges, you have up until tonight to get your different challenges in. The mystery challenge and also the sketch challenge. Even when I was away, I had a sketch challenge going. But this way, at least, you may be able to earn a stamp set. I give a stamp set in Canada. And due to Stampin' Up regulations, I can't give a stamp set to somebody outside of Canada, but I can send you a tutorial. So at least that way you can benefit from entering in. So I do 1 draw for the mystery and 1 draw for the sketch challenge. Okay, so that's giving us, there's our die. So we've got that out of the way. And I'm actually going to go ahead, Boy, do I make a mess all over the place. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add that right onto. Make sure I've got all that those parts out. There we go. And so I'm going to use my glue. I didn't prime this glue. Just going to put this down on here. I find glue is the best thing, especially when you're using a die. All right. You know what? I think I'll add just a bit more right along here. So have you decided what die you're going to use for your mystery? Are you going to use any of those ones that I showed you, or have you got another one in mind? There we go. I think that's it. Right, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this on here. This is 3 3/4 by 5. I love that size. I think it goes so nice when you put it onto a card. I do like the 4 by 5 1/4, but I find that it shows it off 100% better with it. So, yeah. All right, so I've got that. Now, remember what my other part is, a punch. So I have a piece of basic white, and I'm taking this decorative punch, and I'm just going to go ahead and punch that shape. Now, at the end too, what I want to do is show you where I got the inspiration for this card. So I have, let's see, I've got, this is from the Stylish Shapes. And then I cut out a circle. This was a 3-inch circle, and I think this one works out to a 2 3/4 circle. So I'm doing this like in the blue, red, and white. See how that's going to go on there, just like that. And then, of course, I thought of using the gnomes with it, but I thought that, you know what, I was going to use the toadstools with it. I was going to use a different one, but it covered up a lot of what I wanted on there. So let me just show you what that's kind of looking like. I could put that toadstool on there. What do you think? The toadstool or without the toadstool? It's kind of covering up that punch idea. I think it would, if I was going to put the toadstool on, I think I would use this one. Kind of brings in that Poppy Parade, or this one. Maybe this one would be better. So that's how that would look. So what do you think, with the toadstool or without the toadstool? I kind of like it without, so I'm going to do it that way. Okay, so now what I can do is I can just go ahead and let's just, like I say, pretty simple card, this one. So I am going to go ahead and am I going to put this down below, or am I going to put it over here? Never really know until I get going. If I did it off to the side here. No, we're going to put it in the middle. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this down and put it right onto the background here. I have a pretty quiet group today. So let's go there. And then now I can start using dimensionals. Now this is a dark color going on to a fairly dark color. So I think what I'll do is I'll use the black dimensionals on the back of this. This was just cut with, you could use a punch to cut this, or I use my layering circles to do this. And you know what, I'll do one more. And let's take this. This is just going to go on here. Like I say, it's a real linear card, that's for sure. And you know what? I'm going to put this on flat, and then I can pop up my little gnome. Aren't these gnomes adorable? I just love them. And the sentiments on them are pretty cool too. So I have my die. I have my punch, and now I have my designer series paper. So I'm just actually going to go put this off to the side, but I'm going to use dimensionals with that. You know what? That might droop in the middle. I think I'll just come in and just put a tiny one in the middle so that it doesn't droop. There we go. Now I'm just going to put it off to the side just a bit. This gnome, and I'll show you the other gnome that I just think is adorable. I like the ones with the pool party and the Pacific Point. I could have used Pacific Point on here too. I never thought of that. All right, so like I say, I did one of these thin banners, and I did it in Poppy Parade. This is in Poppy Parade as well. And I'm going to come in because it's not going to show up very well on there. So I'm going to actually stamp this with Versamark, and then going to go ahead and do white embossing powder with it. So this one's really, it's got a nice saying on there, so your kindness does not go unnoticed. But however, I do not want to have that kind of a thank you card. So I think I'm going to come in and use my sending wishes and do a note of thanks. So here we go here. And I'll just put this on too. There we go. And the Versamark. And I got to see if I can get up there. That's for sure. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Do I have that straight? Not too bad. And then I'm just going to come in with my white embossing powder. Have you seen the new embossing kit? I love it. I love the tweezers that go with it. The scissors are pretty cool in them. I mean, the brush that goes with it. Now let's see. Okay, I'm just going to move these dies out of the way. I'm just going to come in with a piece of cardstock, and you know what? I'll use those tweezers from that embossing kit as well. So let's do this. This has got a silicone, I believe is what it is, and it doesn't heat up, which is really nice. So I'm just gonna. Now, you notice I do not use a spoon, and the reason I don't is because that spoon falls into your embossing powder, and then what happens is that it tends to get all over the place, and I don't want that happening. All right, so let's go ahead and heat that up. Like I say, pretty simple card, so, but it's got all the elements that we want, right? I don't know. I absolutely love heat embossing. Just take a bit of practice, but after you've got the knack of it, it works really good. Thing is not to overcook it. All right. Let's go ahead now, because I'm doing this onto a navy. I think I'm going to use my black dimensionals as well. Well, let's go ahead and use that. And I'll just use one of these smaller black ones as well in the middle, just so it doesn't droop down. Now, I didn't think that this card needed any ribbon. So let's go there. Let's go a note of thanks. Now you notice this guy's off a little centered that way. So I'm going to do my note of thanks off a little bit that way as well. And then the embellishments that go along with this particular stamp set is this. Now, these are the fine sparkle adhesive backed ones. And I thought, oh, it doesn't really go like this part. Let's see how this will look with the blue on there. I just don't think that it works as well. So I could go in with my navy, navy or my pool party. So I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to change the color of these. There we go. Do you do that often? I do it all the time. So, all right, so let's go there. Put one up here. Put one down here. And then I think I'll put another one. Let's just go. How does that look? No, I think we'll put this over here. There we go. So there's my card using the big dies, using a punch, and using some designer series paper. Now let me show you where I got this inspiration from. When I was at Backstage last week, we of course do swaps. Now, honestly, I don't know if you're going to see how I got this, but see how this was done. This was one of the swaps. I got this from a Denise Moss. She's from Ontario. Anyways, that one kind of reminded me a little bit that maybe I could do this. I never thought of doing it this way. And then I got this one from a Karen Braxton, and that's what gave me the idea. Oh, that's a good idea, is to put the thing right there on the end of the hat. Never thought of that. And then they had the little ones over here. But anyways, that's where I got that inspiration from. And then, like I said, I promised you that I would show you this one. And this one's another Canadian, and it's Connie Douglas. And this, isn't this beautiful? Oh my goodness. I love this. So that's using this die as well. So there's 3 more of my swaps, and that's how I want to show you my swaps, is going that route. So don't forget to go and enter into the challenge. You just go into the group and you put it in under the challenge. And then also what you would do is, yeah, just make sure that you do that. And this happens to be Disco Mystery Challenge and the date, and then it'll work just fine. Now, just to let you know some things that are coming up. September is a pretty exciting month, I must tell you. So watch your emails. If you get any emails and live in Canada, honestly, there are some amazing deals. We have weekly deals starting as of tomorrow. We have no idea what those weekly deals are. And they're going to change every week. So they'll come out, and it ends on September the 28th. So they start tomorrow and end on September the 28th. So weekly deals. Another thing is the perfect pairing. I think you've seen, I've done fresh cut flowers. I've shown a couple of samples with fresh cut flowers. And also I've done ones with harvest apple. This is where they've taken some dies and matched them up with different stamp sets. And these dies are only available until September the 30th or while quantities last. So I can't stress enough that if you want these dies and you want to do them as a bundle, by all means. And if you do live in Canada and you do purchase a bundle from me, you will be invited to come to a special class. You will make 6 cards using your product, using your dies, and we'll do it through Zoom. And we're going to do it around sketch challenges so that you can see different ways of putting it together. And the way it is you can almost do every single card from a die that you purchase. You can do every single card there. So in any event, exciting month next month. I don't know if there's anything else going on. That's all we know. Oh, there's some new, there's a really neat mug coming out. Oh, I don't know if I was allowed to tell you that. In any event, I'll be able to announce that tomorrow as well. So have a great evening. Don't forget to get those challenges in. I hope to post tomorrow the winners. If not, it would be by Saturday at least. So have a great day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye for now.